maybe what did you just kind of see there in the overtime and the execution there?
I think I saw two teams battling, and it was a physical game and put ourselves in position to win that game. So a lot of great things, both sides of the ball. Obviously, the third quarter cost us, but it's a battle, and you're in the overtime, and it's a war of attrition, and it's like we're looking for good shots. Then they're big and they're physical and they're aggressive, and we just got to keep. Those are great moments for us, though. These are great teachable moments as we go. Obviously, you want to win the game, and we got to find ways to close out that game. But there was some good execution on both sides, even to get it to the overtime. We needed a couple more stops. I think Zay put us up 3, and we just needed a few more. Wells hits a tough one at the end. So in general, I'm proud of the guys. In general, I'm proud. I thought they battled. Saw a lot of good stuff.
Is that kind of your message to them after the game?
Yeah, see a lot of growth, man. I mean, won the fast break game against them, won the second chance point game. We touched paint. I like the shots we were getting. We've had a hard time scoring against this team in the past, and I think this is the best we've scored against them that I can remember. We had a hard time there in the fourth, though, probably late in the fourth, generating good looks. But it's tough with Edey. You have 2 7-footers out there making it tough at the rim. We had a really good job sharing it, I think, for the most part. Tonight, what do we have? 34 assists, 15 turnovers. So proud of the guys. They moved it, they shared it, they battled. There was some different lineups. We found some stuff we liked. You just got a better third. To me, just defensively in the third, we were just bleeding. We just could not get a stop. Bottom line.
Last time I want to ask you about Zion's shot that forced overtime. What did you kind of see on that play?
So just force and attack. We put him in a position. He just made it. He made a tough shot. And that's what he does. So the guys executed. To get it to overtime, and we'll keep putting ourselves in those positions. You just got to keep learning through it, keep battling.
You mentioned execution late in the fourth quarter and OT. How much of it was them just kind of parking Edey in the paint and just having a hard time finding ways to kind of counter that, especially when you're running a whole lot of stuff through Zion once they get into the paint?
Yeah, there's a challenge there. You can bring a small in, and stretch Edey out, but you give up something on the defensive end. It's going to be a tough on the other end. And Eve had played well. He played well, but it's tough when they just park him there. On what you're going to do with Eve. We tried some different things. We got some stuff in the first half. And obviously they were sitting on it a little more in the fourth quarter too. But they're big and they're physical. They make it tough on Z, but we'll continue to look at ways to help Z in those moments, to find some open stuff. But I did see some other open looks too. I mean, it wasn't like we weren't getting open looks as well. We had a couple turnovers, but I think we're going to find some good looks even in those moments, and they just didn't go down. So, but we'll keep battling, keep working through it.
And you talked about, regardless of result, wanting to build good habits, doing the right things with your system. How pleased have you been with these past 2 games? Just how many guys are contributing? Assists are up, threes are up, the way you're doing it.
I love the way they're playing. I really do. It stinks that we just can't, we didn't get over the hump tonight, but I feel a confidence brewing with this group. The bench was amazing. It was great to see Hawk back in there. Peavy gave us big minutes again. Bryce gave us big minutes again. Obviously, Jose was phenomenal, and Eve had massive impact all over that game. Edey's a load, though. I mean, he's tough. But I love the way, especially our bench came out, and they carried a bulk of that game. And we're just seeing it. We don't care where it comes from. We don't care where the production comes from. It can come from anybody on any given night. But I see a lot of guys playing well. The ball's moving, our pace is up. As I said earlier, this is a tough team to score against. And I think this is probably the best I've seen us score against them until late in the fourth.
In the half court, it seemed like the Grizz were able to take away a lot of Trey's game. Or would you say it was something that the Grizzlies were specifically doing, or just happened to happen in the flow of this specific game?
Well, the game slowed down a little bit. Trey got loose a little bit, earlier. The game slows down. They just started attaching to Murph, and then they just plug it with the bigs. That's the beauty when you have size like that. They can just plug the paint with 2 and force Murph everything to the rim. So, to get him loose, probably I needed to do a little bit more in transition and flow, and that's why when we were getting stops, we were getting really good looks. When we got stops, we had really good looks tonight. When they were scoring, we were having to take it out of the net and made it a little tough on us. But, for us to score, what did we finish with? 128, 122 at regulation. I'll take that against that team, but we'll keep learning through this group and try to help them.
You guys closed with DQ, then an OT went back to Eve. Just what went into decision making to kind of toggle the two different big looks there?
Yeah, I don't think we closed with DQ in the fourth. That was Eve to close the fourth. I think we took him out at, I don't remember, 3.5. I think I called timeout somewhere in there. We went to Eve, where he was sitting there, for a minute. But just wanted the defense. Eve had a great game, and he was active, and he was bodying, Edie down there, and rebounding. His activity was really special. It's the balance between that and Queen's offensive ability. I think we had a hard time defending when we didn't have Eve out there tonight, bottom line. I mean, when you look at the minutes and the numbers, I think they're going to say to us, without Eve in the game, we had a really hard time defending this group. So that was the thought process. And, again, I could have gotten small to spread the floor out with Z. But, again, you're battling 2 7-footers on the other end. That makes it tough.
Yeah, and speaking of that, JB, Zion's game, as we all know, is predicated on driving, getting to the rim. And he seemingly repeatedly tried to get in there, couldn't do anything about it. Didn't even get to the free throw line. I think in the second half, you guys only shot 2 free throws after halftime. So what can you guys do to circumvent that when you go up against a team like this with 2 bigs?
Well, you got to get stops and get out and run. Again, the best way to counter their size is our pace and speed. But when they scored 39 and 30 in the last 2 quarters, it made us play against their half-court defense a little bit more. When we were able to get stops in the first half, we were out running, getting good looks. So it starts with our defense, getting stops, getting out running, pushing that. When it becomes a half-court game against them, it's going to be a challenge, not just us, but in general. They're a very good half-court defensive team. So, but in general, I think there was more attention on paint touches. And I think we had 89 or 90 paint touches again tonight. So we're downhill. We got to spray it out for a little bit more. We may have lost that a little bit there in the fourth quarter. But the mentality has to stay the same from minute 1 through minute 48, the drive, kick, swing mentality. And I think we may have lost our way a little bit there, in the fourth quarter. You start playing a little bit, one-on-one. But I'm proud of the guys. I really see a lot of growth in their ball movement, their pace, their tensions are up on kicking that ball out. Probably, I think last time we had a really hard time scoring against them, and we did not kick it out. So tonight I thought there was some growth there.
Yeah, I think tonight was the season high, 9 blocks for the team. Eve had 3 of those. 2
Yeah.
of them were demonstrative. Do you like seeing that emotion from him? Because he told us that DeAndre's kind of told him to be more vocal, show some emotion out there.
Yeah, he needs to. I think he needs to show that, the fire, the tenacity. You need that out of your big guy. He anchors that paint. We need some nasty, some edginess out of him. And I hope he screams more, You got to scream more. Pound his chest a little bit too. So I thought he was fantastic. He had a hell of a first half. Really helped us, stay in that game even the second half. So I can't say, to have this on back-to-back nights for Eve was fantastic. Really proud of him.
And similarly, just a back-to-back night of good performance. Jose played really well tonight. Just what have you made of his ability to kind of rise to the occasion, fill in as a point guard, and kind of execute your vision of how the offense needs to be, and just, I guess, even turn games around?
Well, number one, he's a competitor. You don't have to even turn that switch on. He just brings it naturally, And, he probably had a couple games where he wasn't at his best, leading up to the last couple. But last game and tonight, when he plays well, this team tends to go in the right direction. So he's a steady force. He's a competitor. He can make big shots. He makes big plays. He's played with this group a lot too. I mean, he's played with Z and Trey and these guys a number. There's a familiarity with that group. So he's a great competitor, and obviously when he's rolling, he gets that bench going, and we're a different team. So again, big effort from him tonight.
Any chance you make him start playing with just one shoe instead of 2?
What's that?
Any chance you might make Jose just start playing with one shoe on instead of
I don't know. I mean, that was impressive. I don't think I've seen that, too often. No, let's not do that, but we'll take it. We'll take it. That was a great stretch. Thanks, guys.